All right, welcome back to Breakfast Television on a Monday morning. I know you tried to forget about this all weekend, and here we are on a Monday rehashing it. But we're showing you some of the highlights right there. That is your Toronto Raptors, of course, losing in Game 7 to the Boston Celtics, which opened up a lot of questions. The way they played. There should have been a timeout at the end there by Coach Nick Nurse. That's some of the things. And what's the future looking like for your Toronto Raptors? So we have insider and analyst for the NBA from Sportsnet, our good friend Donnovan Bennett, waking up early for us. I appreciate you, man. Good morning.
Always. My pleasure.
Let's start with some of the questions with Game 7 itself. Right at the end, people are questioning, why did Coach Nick Nurse not call a timeout when the team was scrambling and trying to get a three-pointer to tie the game?
Yeah, I mean, hindsight is beyond 2020, so it's a great question. I mean, why did Norman Powell push the issue and try and go 1-on-3? I mean, the thing is, Nick Nurse, up to that point, had pushed all the buttons correctly. Even the play to get OG Anunoby a wide open look on the other side of the court, to seal Game 3 with 0.5 seconds left, going small. He made so many decisions. And offensively, the Raptors really were struggling, and to give Boston the chance to set up their defense, specifically in the half court when the Raptors half court offense really struggled. You could see why he'd say, well, let's just get something when they can't set up in terms of matchups. But that one is going to be one that probably Nick Nurse himself loses a little bit of sleep over, because if Norm Powell throws down a vicious dunk, then we're probably having a different conversation.
100%, man. And again, you can't say one play makes an entire game. It's not going to make the entire series. This entire series, we have to give credit to Boston Celtics. I actually messaged, because we had Enes Kanter on the show. I messaged him last night, and I was like, yo, congrats. You guys look good, and I actually hope you get to the finals, because they are playing very, very well. This is a very good team.
Very good team. And also shout out to Scott Morrison, PEI native and assistant coach on that team. So Raptors fans, if you're hurt, at least know that a Canadian is still playing in the Eastern Conference. But listen, Boston has multiple top-level first-round picks, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart. They're supposed to be this good. It's actually an outlier that the Raptors, losing their finals MVP, the player who led them in points last year, went this far and was this good throughout the regular season with a guy that was undrafted in Fred VanVleet, with a guy who was drafted late in the second round in Norm Powell, with the guy in Pascal Siakam who fell to them in the first round, with a guy like OG Anunoby who fell to them in the first round, and specifically Pascal Siakam. And you mentioned it earlier. I want to reiterate it. Let's be better as Canadians. This is a guy who's been playing the sport for 10 years. Devo, you have shoes that are older than 10 years old.
This is true.
He has gotten so good so fast, and success is not a straight line up. And so he's going to come back much better because of his struggles. But as Canadians, we loved him at this time last year. Let's continue to love him when he's struggling right now.
I agree with you. We got only about a minute left, so we got a couple of things I want to get to. Contracts going forward. What is the team looking like? Because we could lose Fred, Serge, and Marc Gasol.
Yeah, some unrestricted free agents, and Fred VanVleet, Serge Ibaka, and Marc Gasol. Gasol's 35, Ibaka is 31, so they won't be the priorities because Fred is obviously much younger. And Malcolm Brogdon's deal last year, 4 years, $85 million, around $21 a year, is probably what Fred's going to want. Remember that the cap is going to be flat for maybe the next 2 years because the league's not making as much money right now without fans in the stands. So there may be less suitors. Detroit, where Dwayne Casey is, the Milwaukee Bucks, who need a point guard, and Chicago, a team close to Fred's home in Rockford, are also suitors for Fred VanVleet. So back up the Brinks truck. Bet on yourself is right. Fred VanVleet is going to make some money, and he's going to be the Raptors' priority in the offseason.
So true. And quickly, DJ, your thoughts on the NFL opening weekend, the roles that the players took and the teams did during the national anthems and their stances. How do you feel, and your take on this?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of everything. Teams deciding they're staying in the locker room. The Miami Dolphins put out a video to explain why, and they didn't want this to be politicized. Players kneeling, coaches and Frank Wright of the Indianapolis Colts kneeling. They played the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and then teams had a show of unity, linking arms. And fans in Kansas City booed that. So you really have to decide, do you want them to be political and protest? Do you want them not to? It seems like whatever NFL players do, they can't please everybody. And when you look on Twitter right now, so polarized on each side. And sadly, even though we tried to get some unity, given what we've been through the last couple months, no matter what people do, you're seeing a lack of unity and more division, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, the conversation continues, DJ, and we will definitely continue that with you later on as the season goes on as well. Appreciate you getting up. Go play with that little man right now and enjoy the rest of your Monday morning. Thanks, DJ.
Thanks. Same to you.
All right. That's Donnovan Bennett from Sportsnet joining us. We'll be back with more BT after